Hey, one of y'all want a bottle of water?
I'm good.
That's real funny. I got my own right here.
Yo, appreciate y'all tuning in, man. We got another episode of Comedians Chopping It Up, man. I am joined by two great veterans of this comedy game. Two gentlemen that basically served as mentors to me in a different capacity, different times of my career. On my screen right now, I got the one and only Tone X, one of QC's veterans of the game in Charlotte, North Carolina. And then I also have Mr. Rodney Perry, currently in Atlanta. And both of y'all really don't need no introduction, man. If anybody watched comedy, they didn't see y'all on BET, they didn't see you on Def Jam, they didn't see you in movies, they didn't see y'all do all type of stuff. So I appreciate y'all giving me the time tonight, man, to just chop it up with me. First and foremost, let me tell y'all, man, happy Father's Day.
Oh, man, it's all good, man. Happy Father's Day to you, man. I seen you with them babies in the car doing y'all dad jokes.
Oh, yeah, the bad dad joke, the extra bad dad jokes. Yeah, that was... They asked me to stop. They was like, Dad, just stop. I was like, nah. I was like, I got a couple more worse ones, you know, than the ones we had. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's an annual thing, man. I always got to come up with about 6 or 7 of real bad ones, and they be like, oh, here we go with the dad joke. So
right.
Yeah.
I want to say happy Father's Day to you too, nephew. And I want to thank you for when you said these two gentlemen need no introduction, and you started rattling off accolades. And honestly, Rodney's tier of events is a little higher than mine. So listen, they might not need to worry about Rodney, but somebody Googling me right now, okay? Right now they're Googling me.
Hey, you know what, X? I never assume nobody know me though, because people will hurt your damn feelings.
Oh, yeah.
People will hurt your damn feelings. They said I should recognize you, but I don't.
I thought I was coming to see somebody else. Yeah,
So let me sell them socks.
Right, you the sock man.
The hell with the joke. You're the one that sell the socks. All right, man.
You know, and the funny thing about it is, I don't care what comedy club I do go to. If I say Tone X, the staff know who you are. So, I mean, the one thing that I will say is you got a reputation of treating people right, because the staff always go, oh, that's my man right there, Tone X. So it's kind of like one of those things that precede you. You know, it's like, because you can go to any comedy club and go, who don't y'all like working with? And they'll be like, well, we don't like this person when they come. We don't like this person when they come, you know, and they start rattling it down. You know what I mean? So it's always like good to.
That's always some bull, though. You know what I mean? Like,
if you keep hearing the same name, though.
Hear me out though. Like they like you, but they ain't gonna just book you willy-nilly either. Like,
right.
But it ain't about the staff though. It's about the audience that they bringing in. And just because a person is a headliner and they bringing in tickets, don't mean they're gonna treat the staff right.
Very true. Very true.
That's right, Rodney.
So, you know, Rodney will Hollywood you in a minute. You know, Rodney will just be like, "Hey, hold my coat. I'll be back." Like,
right. Dumping his cigar ashes on the floor.
Damn right.
So
I choked one girl at the club. I said, "Shut up!
Wait a minute."
They told her not to look at me, X. They said, "Don't look at him in the eye." And she went to doing it. And I had to, you know.
I was serious with you. So I could have did that Malcolm.
That's a joke. That's a joke.
We know it's a joke, but you know, in all seriousness, there are some comedians that do have a name right. Don't be looking at me. Don't be looking at me directly. And let's stay out my green room.
Duck past the background.
Huh?
Who just ducked past the background, X?
Don't say nothing. You don't even say nothing. Because I tried to act like, is that right? I tried to act like the audience didn't even pick that up. That's why I just kept looking into the camera. You looking into the camera.
You looking like, really?
It's funny because you should have been here before before we went live. It's funny because it was like, you know, she don't care. She like, look, I'm gonna be seen, and I love it. I love the stuff in the background. You know
if you see somebody behind me, let me know. They snuck in.
You know, everybody's eyes gonna get big. You know what I mean? Like, ain't gonna say nothing. His eyes gonna get big.
I'm getting ready to change my sitting position.
Right, so you sit where everybody can see if I move.
You get it?
You see what I mean?
I'm just glad she dressed.
Right. Stop trying to get camera time, Yolanda. This is not an estrogen talk.
Okay? Oh, man.
Testosterone talk.
I'm helping the show.
Oh, no, she helping us. Okay, all right.
She like a heckler. She like when a heckler come up to you and tell her, man, I was just trying to help your show out.
That's the heckler. That's the heckler.
Nobody needs your ass. Get on out of here.
I'm gonna tell you. So I was working this weekend, this past weekend in Greenville, and I had a heckler. I was going into a bit, but I was premising the bit with what was going on with today with the Black Lives Matter. But I didn't say Black Lives Matter. I was talking about police, and then I was going into this hoodie bit that I do. And the lady jumped in the middle of my conversation and said, "Can I say something?" And I said, "This ain't a classroom." I said, "This ain't a classroom." But she was drunk. She was drunk and she just kept talking. And then she said, "But all lives matter." I said, "Man, you gonna have this conversation with me right now in this environment with me with a microphone on stage? You really want to do this?" So she was like, "Yeah, my husband was shot by a gang member." I said, "Man, this don't have nothing to do with what I do. I'm about to tell a joke." I said, "And you getting all serious?" Man, the crowd started turning on her. And in the middle of her sentence that she started approaching the stage and her husband was behind her, they both yelling at me. I said, "Y'all say goodbye to them." And everybody started applauding as they was leaving the club, like, "Get out of here." But it was so uncomfortable. It was the first time back on stage in 3 months. And I'm going, why did this have to happen? And then it hit me. You want a late night Friday show. And that quick, I forgot. Late night Friday, you're going to have some bullshit happen. Like, oh, yeah. that's like always going to happen. But how has it been for you, RP, going back on the road?
I mean, this will be my first week like out in a different city other than Atlanta. I did my first date in Atlanta, and the same thing happened to me in terms of not really a heckler, but you know, anything you touch on socially, you could really activate that. I mean, people are really kind of feeling weird and not cool, and even like when I was working, I mentioned COVID-19, and I got 7 people that was like, "It's fake," blah, blah, blah. They started making their case to why it was fake. And I got 2 nurses in the front row going, if it's fake, then I'm seeing something every day that, you know, and it was, and then they started yelling at match back and forth. I just sitting there like, okay. You was way better than me.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I was going to post it. I was going to post the whole incident, but then I thought to myself, do I really want this to go viral? And do I really, this lady don't deserve this because she was drunk, number one. And number two, she was kind of letting her feelings out, but I was kind of like, it's just something else to add to the fire. You know what I mean? And I was just like, the way I handle it, I was just like, y'all just say goodbye to them. Because you can't change their mind. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they always going to feel like what they saying is right. You know what I mean? So, you know, what's the point?
Now if you try to change somebody's mind, you can forget that. Yeah, you're right.
Nah, not at that age. You know, you're not gonna change nobody's mind. I felt bad for her kids because I'm like, you're gonna teach your kids the same bullshit, but I gotta teach my kids something different. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know. I got a show this weekend, but after a while I saw what happened with DL, praying for that brother's help. I'm about to put it back on shutdown. You know, until this.
I'm about to go get this money to somebody try to keep you from breathing on me. But this is the thing. You know, I had a conversation earlier today with a comedian. We was talking about like, is the club liable if DL had COVID-19? Is the club in some way liable? I don't think so because there's no way to say that you got it from that night.
Right.
You know, and we tested you, but I said this in my show, X. Did you? When I said, I was like, yo, they checked y'all, but didn't nobody check me?
Right.
You're right. Like
I walk around with all type of COVID. Ain't nobody asked me to, you know, they just want to make this little money. So I was like, yo, this could be kind of weird, you know.
In Greenville, I was the only one in Greenville with a mask. When I got out of my car and I was walking to the club, they was looking at me like I was strange. They're like, oh, he must be from Charlotte. Like, they. I mean, I was like, I didn't see one mask.
I
And
mean,
I'm going,
they
y'all
feel
don't.
like they all know each other.
Yeah, I was like, y'all don't believe Fat Me Greasy down here. Like, I don't understand why y'all not like nothing. And so when I did my show, I brought my own microphone. As I got pulled on stage, I switched it out. And when I did my show, I treated it like I was in the grocery store. I got close to nobody. I ain't speak right, hardly spoke to anybody. I was just like, nah, no pictures, no handshakes, don't come up to me after the show, wave at me, and find me on social media. Goodbye.
Right. You listen, there's two words now that you got to be aware of: precautionary measures. And I have to look and see what the club is doing before I think about going there. First of all, if we're going to listen to the statistics, all right, then I'm at that 50 and over. So I'm supposed to be in that range of being susceptible before anybody else. Second of all, I'm considered an essential worker. What you're not going to do is have me tell some jokes and then I can't come back and get on that air, because that air check looks far better than that joke check. And if it boils down to it, I'll just tell a joke from 3 to 7, Monday through Friday, until y'all get that club straight.
Hey, you better tell it, man. That make more sense than anything.
Right.
I mean, you know, Rodney, you was doing the virtual shows and stuff like that when all this stuff broke out. And it's like, dude, that might be the new medium. Like, hey, let me find out what promoters is actually doing these virtual shows. You know what I mean?
Like what I did Friday night when I played Atlanta Comedy Theater is I had a dude come in and stream the show, and we had some viewers. So that I think the new normal will be some hybrid of live and virtual. But I mean, dude, I don't think people give a shit.
They don't, man.
I think people have a real need to be around humans, and they will do it. You know, I don't think they don't care. Like
at anybody's expense.
No. This is the thing. You also got to look at. I mean, we're seeing the numbers of deaths, but there's huge numbers of people that getting COVID and recovering, and people are seeing that, and they going, okay. And relatively speaking, like I talked to LeVar and I talked to some doctors, like percentage-wise, it really ain't that bad. People is dying, but it's a lot of people that's not dying.
Right.
And so when you then you wake up to conspiracy theories. I mean, if you listen to some of these people argument, it's like, okay, you might have a point there. Wait a minute, what you say?
Right.
And I heard somebody say today, they was like, well, you just don't trust the government? I was like, no. Let's not forget about Miss Everboys. You know, I mean, the American government is not beyond doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all. You got to be careful, though. I mean, you just have to be smart. You know what I mean? I always say, stop, think, and live. Right. That's what I be telling the listeners. Stop, think, and live. You just have to be smart about the whole situation.
Right.
I tell people, I'll put a mask on for myself, but more importantly for you, because I see a lot of these cats, math and measurement was not their strong suit, nephew, because if you telling me that's 6 feet between you and that other person in that checkout line, I know you failed every math quiz you got. Ain't no way in hell that's 6 feet.
Exactly.
I be wanting to pull a tape measure out.
If you don't back your ass up, dog.
This is 6 feet.
I'm gonna tell you, it's uncomfortable, and I explain to people all the time. My concern is not necessarily me. It's not me. It's the fact that I got to be around my mother, and it's my responsibility to make sure I'm taking my measures. But then I got this dude that ain't got no risk that he can think of. That's all in my face. Like, man, you was funny as hell. Like, dude, I need you to back up. I need you to stay over there. I need you to say good job, and then you find me on social media and we can chop it up as much as you want. You know what I mean?
Dude, my next door neighbor had COVID-19, and they just told us like last week, and dude lost 25 pounds. It was real deal. They was diagnosed with it. He went through it. It was tough. He okay now, but I mean, he high risk, like you say, X, he 50 years old, you know. He like, yo, dude, I'm glad I'm out. I'm like, you lost 25 pounds?
He like,
hold on, man. Come on, give your boy a sneeze, man, so I can go.
You get back to your fighting weight in like 3 weeks, huh?
Just like that.
Don't nobody want to be on that COVID diet.
I don't want to be on no COVID diet either, yo. Because here's the thing, one of them symptoms is losing your sense of smell and taste. And if I can't taste my food, bro, I don't think I want to eat it. So that's probably why he lost the 25.
According to DL, he had no symptoms.
Okay.
And damn near had a stroke.
Yeah, and that's what I thought it was at first. I thought it was.
You talking to a stroke survivor.
You're right.
And I'm gonna set up.
No, because when I heard right, because when I heard the speech, when I heard the word slur, and then the movement right after, I was like, whoa! I said, that's the first thing I thought. Yeah.
Well, face drooping. The American Stroke Association has an acronym they use called FAST. Face drooping is the first thing you look. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech slurring, and if you notice in there, it's time to go to the hospital. It's possible that he could have had stroke-like symptoms and they caught it in time before he actually stroked out. That's possible. Yeah. And there's a bit of a stigma attached to having a stroke that nobody talks about, that people don't like to be identified with that. I'm not saying the man's not telling the truth, but it's his business. It's medical, you know. So that's why I don't want to speculate on the stroke, but I hit him on his page. I was like, dude, I thought you had joined the stroke club.
I saw you. I said, Rodney ain't nothing.
That's so funny. But the funny thing is, in our business, it wouldn't be right if comedians didn't come at you that way when you go through some type of problem.
Yeah.
And you almost expect it. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you something. If he had a stroke and was talking a day later, he's Superman.
Yeah.
You know? I'd have told him to stay off that white liquor. See, that's what you get for being up there on stage drinking scotch with no chaser. I tried to tell you about that. Don't listen to me.
Well, somebody told me that liquor straight without no chaser will keep that weight off you. So it's you know, since I get with the Jack Honey, don't nobody give a damn about me no more. They call me a party pooper. I'm trying to get my life together, but I'm the bad guy. Okay. Cause I ain't drinking. I am the asshole. What kind of
Pull your cup out. Pull your cup out, X.
You see what he got?
You know what I mean?
Pull your cup out.
Them the kind of people I don't keep around me.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Agitator.
So let me ask y'all this. You know, y'all being in comedy as long as you guys have, and like I told you, unofficial, or served as mentors to me different times in my career. You guys are mentors a lot of times to a lot of comics, whether you want to be or not. And with that comes a lot of responsibility. But I know sometimes y'all just don't feel like being bothered. You know what I mean? So how do you balance that? And then is it the person that you're reaching out to mentor, or is it more or less something you wait till somebody come to you? Because sometimes you can recognize the talent in somebody and go, let me go talk to this young guy or this young lady. Or is it more or less like, I ain't saying that to them unless they come up to me?
X?
I'm pretty much like that. This business, people are so fickle with how they look at you trying to help them or you trying to give them advice. On one hand, a lot of people as a collective, I would say, it's hard to get advice because people have a fear of you're gonna get the one up, or it's always a competition. And with me, knowledge is meant to be shared, not kept to yourself. So if you ask, I'm going to answer the question. If you want to talk about it, I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not going to seek you out and be like, listen, let me tell you how you can punch up that last. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
But if you have a question, you know, I'm going to ask. It's like when Michael Jordan was talking in the funeral at Kobe, and he said he had told Kobe to call him and ask him, and he said Kobe used to call him so much, he was like, this shit was irritating at first. But then he saw how dedicated he was to his craft. And so you can recognize good energy right off the bat. And you can see if a person is genuine, if they're dedicated. So all of that goes into play. But I'm not just gonna come up to you and be like, let me holler at you a minute, because that right there turns a lot of people off. And they look at you in a totally different light, no matter how helpful you may
trying to be.
So,
right. Yeah.
My approach is maybe a little different from that. First of all, you know, I had comedians going, hey, you're going to be my mentor. I'm like, no, you don't get to pick me. I pick you. You know, the mentor chooses if he's going to help you or not. Right. Now, you know, isolated advice is one thing, but mentoring somebody is a longer process. Right. And so, you know, if I see even a comic that's like featuring or opening for me, I'll watch their set. I give them notes, unsolicited, you know, and I'm like, yo, that joke is dope. And, you know, I think comedy is so collaborative. So, you know, I would definitely, you know, from time to time, if I vibe the person, right, it's all vibe, you know. And so, like I is this cat, you know, little Benny Pitts.
In Atlanta.
Yeah. I just like the guy, and he's kind of fodder for bullies, you know, and you know, even in comedy, and I've always been one to champion a guy that's a little guy, you know, and so, you know, I would, you know, give Benny little jewels, but at the same time, Benny don't listen.
Yeah.
So you ain't got but one time not to listen for me to stop talking to you.
Right.
You know, if I shoot you a little shout out, and you like, okay, yeah, I got it, Rod. And, you know, but Benny, like one of my kids, he had come back 6 months later, go, Rod, what you told me, you know, I heard that, and I was able to implement it yesterday. And I'm like, you're an idiot, Benny.
Yesterday.
So I think what X is saying is right in terms of, you know, how you approach it and when, but you know, I'm out there. I'm a little nosy. I'll throw my 2 cents in the ring.
Yeah.
You say you're a little nosy.
Nah, I mean it's good. Like you need some cats to be nosy sometimes. I feel like when you say collaborative, that's a part that some people don't know. There's nobody that's great in this game that didn't have some type of collaborative effort for somebody to go in their ear or tell them about a bit or tell them about something that they saw that they were doing that might have been annoying to the audience or something. And they go, oh, yo, you do this a lot. You look down a lot, or you yell too much into the microphone. Like, you got to get those notes. If nobody ever talked to you about your skill or your craft, you won't be great. Right. And if for somebody to say, I can do it on my own, I don't need no help, you fooling yourself.
Right. That's a great point. I had a guy early on in my career. He came to me at the set. I thought I had ripped. He was like, hey, Rod, what's all that shit in your pocket? I said, huh? He said, you on stage, you got all kind of shit in your pocket. What is that? I went in my pocket. I had all kind. I had keys, a wallet. This. He was like, nigga, that shit is distracting. He said, you got too much. And to this day, I'm never on stage with nothing in my pockets because Tony Royster, the OG, was like, get that shit out your pocket. And to this day, I don't do that.
And you know what? It's funny that kind of stuff is stuff that we recognize standing back looking at a comedian, because the joke part of it is like, yeah, I'll get that part, but then we're going fine tune it, and that's why a lot of times comedians don't laugh at jokes. We look at the joke and go, that was clever as hell, or we be like, that was smart. I like how he did that. Everybody else can be rolling. You could be sitting there like, that was great. That was a good ass joke.
There's a technical aspect to what we do.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you how I got hit with a nuance that stuck with me until this day. When I was on the Kings of Comedy tour, and we were flying from Boston to Minneapolis, and Walter Latham was on the plane, and Steve Harvey was on the plane, and this man James, and I remember he was telling a story. Now, he wasn't talking directly to me. He was just talking in general. And he was like, you know, you a king of comedy from the time you leave your hotel room in the morning to the time you come back at night. And it's hard to be a king of comedy in a sweatsuit. Now, I was the only person on the plane in a sweatsuit, right? And he said, it ain't nothing wrong with a sweatsuit. He said, but it's hard to differentiate between who on stage and who in the audience when you both look the same. Now, once I got off the plane, that next show, because I had a suit, that next show, I put that suit on, and ever since then, I just started the maturation process of what I was gonna wear. But that's how I fell into that whole thing. That's how I fell into that the whole angle about grown man and all that. And I don't know if he was talking to me or not. He just didn't say my name, but it hit me like he was.
Yeah.
And I paid attention to it.
Right.
And when I started doing that, I saw the difference. I saw the difference on how I was received. And so that stuck with me right there. I remember him saying one time, Rodney, he said, when a cat come on stage clean, you already knock 80% of the problem out. The other 20%, you just need to be funny. And that stuck with me. Now, I don't go at cats because I used to wear the baggy jeans, the Timbs. Jay Bliss can tell you that, the baseball caps. I used to have a blow pop all the time on stage. That was my thing. But I don't go at cats and be like, hey, man, you might want to put a blazer on it, because your maturation process, that's your walk.
Right.
That's your process. The reason why at a track meet, if it's 8 cats running in 8 different lanes, every runner coach got a stopwatch. Because everybody ain't gonna cross the finish line at the same time.
Right.
So that's your walk. And it was an eye-opener for me. And I was appreciative of him saying that, whether he was talking to me directly or indirectly.
Right.
Stay with me.
Yeah.
Right. That's a great point, X, man, because like, especially, you know, our class, it was very important to get suited. And the cat, like, I don't know if it's as important now. Like, my advice to comics is this: have a vibe. Like, it might not be suited, but you got to be the dopest mug in the room, though.
Right.
You know, if you're gonna rock if you're gonna rock the tennis shoes, your tennis shoes got to be fly.
Right.
You know, it's still the same rules. It might not. It suits for us, but for you, it might be. You know, you might rock all black. You might. There should be a uniform. You know, we both ex-military. It should be a uniform to what you do, a vibe and some energy to what you do. And you know, I've tried several things over the years. Suits work.
Yeah.
They just work. You know, everybody can't perform in a suit. You know, X, you can, I can. I don't know if I ever seen you dressed up like that, Bliss.
I only do it like a New Year's Eve or something like that.
Right.
I'm
put that blazer on with some Air Force Ones, you know.
Right. And I've always, and when I do my birthday show, I always put a blazer on. But I've always wore clean kicks, like a clean white pair of kicks, some jeans, and a button down. That's been my vibe, because majority of the rooms that I do are mainstream rooms, and everybody there is dressed that way. It's like when you go to church, to a white church for the first time, and you realize ain't nobody dressing up, right? And they all wearing jeans and t-shirts to church, and jeans and button downs to church. And if I'm in a mainstream room and I come in there with a suit on, I feel like I'm a preacher to them. But if I go with us, I feel like shoot, half the room gonna be G'd up. You understand what I'm saying? So I kind of go back and forth. You know what I mean? But the most comfortable I feel, button-down jeans and a clean pair of sneakers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like what Rodney said.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Rodney come from, hey, Rodney, I heard Gladys Knight one time say she come from the school where people like to dress up for their audience. And see, when you talk about going to the white church and they wear it, right, but I'm still coming in there with that custom suit,
Yeah,
with them monk straps, with them socks, because it's gonna be like, oh, well,
right.
Damn. You see what I mean? I'm not gonna go with the, well, he's overdressed. No, I'm not. I'm dressed just right. How about you underdressed?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm at
this
work.
is me.
This is my uniform.
All day.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
So it's and let me, two different points I'm gonna make with that. So you step on the stage, dressed to the nines. Immediately, people pay attention. They're like, damn, right? Since I don't do that, I gotta get them with my first line. I gotta get them with the first 2 minutes of what I say for them to be like, oh, damn. So there's two different things. You got more latitude because the way you came on stage, people in our bay to put the menu down, they done ate their food. They like, look, man, be quiet. This dude is
It's
talking.
showtime.
You understand what I'm saying? It's showtime. You understand what I'm saying? And then mine might come from a little chatter. The room start erupting in laughter and everybody like, hey, shut up. What did the dude just say? And that's where the attention comes from. But it's all scientific. It's all a way to grab that attention.
It's
But
still the same thing. Same thing.
It's great though, because like I wouldn't know that because I don't wear a suit. But to know the 80 to 20% ratio that you just did, when that time come, then I'm suited up, then I expect it. And I go, wow, it changed. It was different. I didn't have to go extra on the first couple of jokes. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's good knowledge.
Right.
But that day is coming. You know what I'm saying? I can't.
It's a maturation process.
It is a maturation process. You know what I mean? Yeah, that day is coming. You know,
I had to stop wearing them bow ties though, because Rodney tell you put that bow tie on with the suit, and then they say your name Tone X. That's a whole different vibe right there. They're like, here come one of Farrakhan boys. We didn't come here for this.
I didn't even put two and two together on that one, yo. I didn't even put two and two together on that one. That's a good one. That's a good one. So, oh, that cough got to you, Rodney.
Come on, say something. There is no God but Allah. They be like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah. I mean, well, you know, I mean, I would, you know what? I wouldn't even have thought of that because like I said, the bow tie nowadays. But like, you know, I was talking to Rodney on my podcast. I was talking about how I used to always break one of them cufflinks on that bit he used to do back in the day.
A lot of money. I'm talking a lot of money doing that bit. Yeah, I saw Michael call you one day. Michael had mismatched cufflinks on. He was like, "Yeah, sometimes I do that because I break them and I don't want to waste a good cufflink. So I sometimes I wear them together." And I was like, "Nigga, me too."
Right? Yeah, exactly. But you probably the only one that noticed he had mismatched cufflinks on, because everybody else probably be like, "Man, that brother clean." You be like, "Nah, that dude got mismatched cufflinks on," because I know.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
God in the details.
Right.
Exactly. So I mean, what else is on the horizon for y'all, like before the end of the year? Has anything come up for you guys? Is anything presented itself where you're like, okay, there's an opportunity I can see coming up in November or December? Or is it just kind of a clean slate? Because for me, it's still up in the air. I got dates, but I don't know if they're there.
Rodney?
You know, when in doubt, create, you know what I mean? And, you know, so last year I wrote a book. And so now I'm working on doing a one-man show, because if COVID do crank back up, I want to have something I could do that don't require an audience.
There you go.
So if stand-up needs the audience energy back and forth. If I do a one-man show, that's more like a play, and I can do the play in the bubble. And so that's why I'm creating that. What I noticed while we've been off is digital matters. So all of those audio recordings we got, all that stuff matters. I'm getting checks from that. So I want to increase my audio footprint, my digital footprint. So I created a project I call Prank Answers, which is a prank call series where we go into people's businesses to answer their phone for a day. And so,
That's dope.
yeah, I'm excited about that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna hit you up because I want to play them on your show.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Get them a home on terrestrial radio. And but other than that, man, so I'm developing that. I'm doing a few things, and I do this. This is the biggest thing. And you tell me what y'all think about this. I've not been off stage 90 days in my whole career. I had a stroke. And I was back on stage 40 days later. So
that's crazy. That's crazy.
This is the longest time I've ever been off. And I realized how I needed comedy to sustain me financially, but I need comedy to sustain me mentally.
There you go.
Like, comedy is important for like the mental part of who I am. And so that's why I created the open mic, so I can give myself and other comics a way to do a joke in front of some people that we know is there. So, I mean, what's coming in the future, we don't know. We didn't know this was coming. So we just got to live and keep putting out good energy, man. And my nose running out, and I'm glad to see it running. That means that I ain't got no dry cough.
That boy's so silly. He's silly.
All the time.
He's silly, man. Don't ask him no more serious questions because he's silly, Jason.
I ain't got no dry cough.
Hey, I'm going to say this. That COVID, I always tell the story about the wise farmer. And the whole story is who can say what's good or what's bad. Mm-hmm. And it's all perspective. And I will say this COVID-19 has been a blessing to me. It has brought me closer to my family. It's brought me closer to my wife. It's made me create. Okay, necessity is the mother of invention. So I had a book done. Rodney know this. I had a book done when I was at the Monique show. Never put it out. Just put it out. It's in final editing now, getting ready to come out. Used to tell Rodney about the website, getting it done, get it redone, get it back up. Finally got it done the way I wanted to. It's out. I got my socks up on the website. So now I'm doing e-commerce with my socks, got the book coming, got tired of so many people telling me, you need to put your voice on voiceovers. So now with all this downtime, that's another aspect that I'm branching off into, the voiceovers, the lecture tours, which I used to do while I was doing comedy. As a matter of fact, that's where my comedy came from, being funny, but making you laugh at the same time, getting back into all that. And it's a good feeling when you can create multiple financial streams, because the bad feeling is having that crutch up under your arm, which means one stream, one check, and you don't even dictate that. And if they come pull it from up under your arm, you really, pardon me, you really in trouble financially. And we know how people's emotions are attached to their money. Yeah. So this downtime with COVID, I told Yolanda, when Ramadan hit, I said, it couldn't have came at a better time because I really wanted to get my discipline together. I told her I wanted to get on that Malcolm discipline. That's a running joke that we have in the house. Mm-hmm. But I came through Ramadan and just did away with some bad habits. That was not enhancing my stage show. It was not enhancing me physically, mentally. So I let the Jack Honey go. I let the cigars go. I let the Kush go. And I haven't had the kind of clarity that I have now in a long time. And it's better for me, my family, and people that's around me as a whole. So the COVID has really been a blessing because it slowed you down. And people always talk about, I'm gonna listen to God talk, but no, you're not. because you won't sit your ass still long enough to hear him talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
God don't yell.
Nah, don't.
Right.
And it's definitely kept me still. Like still is what I do most of the time now. And connection with my kids and my family is huge. I don't know how many of you guys do Zoom calls with your family every week, but we have. And it's like, you know, the extended family. I mean, like first cousins and aunts and uncles. We all get on a call every Sunday. And it's like, we never did anything like that because everybody would have had something to do on Sunday.
That's dope.
But my family knows Sunday at 2:00, you either log on or you don't. But somebody gonna be on there. And we just go in there and we just chop it up. But it's like, that's what this has brought. You know what I mean?
Right.
Teaching my kids spades. Like that was hilarious in itself. But I mean, I don't know when I was gonna be able to do that because I'm going on the weekends. You know what I mean? So, you know, all those little things and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's definitely been. Speaking of which, how was your Father's Day?
Oh, great. Great. I told Rodney I was down there in the ATL because my oldest son, Justice, he lives down there. And I don't like the voice track. So I don't like leaving the radio station during the weekdays. You got to, I want to leave Friday after I get off the air. My wife was like, listen, like you owe it to yourself to really enjoy time away. So we left on a Thursday and we came back today, as a matter of fact. And like I told you earlier, it was one of the best trips that I've taken in a long time. And with the climate going on in the country, I just had to put my eyes on my son, man.
Yeah.
I just had to see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
good
doubt,
people.
man.
Good
No
people.
doubt.
Yeah, for me, it was great day. You know, resting, relaxation. My wife made this great dish. We had cool dinner. My daughter bought me some shoes.
Nice.
You know, but you know, don't nobody listen to me.
What you ask for? That's the question.
It don't matter because they get what they want to get. But no, but I mean the gesture is dope. So they got this app, right, where the girls make themselves look like boys. So they cut this. And so they all look like versions of me, you know. And so they had this card made, and you know, they stupid, man. My kids stupid.
that is hilarious. That's classic right
They
there.
joke
Man.
with each other. They call themselves their daddy's son.
Oh man, that's funny.
That's
man.
the beauty, though. That's the beauty, man.
That's funny. That's funny. That's a funny bit. I think my daughters have sent me something like that one day. I didn't find it funny. Like they sent it to me over the phone. I'm like, what's that? They're like, it's us as boys. I'm like, that ain't funny. Like that's not even funny. I don't know.
My son sent me a picture of a pork chop. I said, how dare you?
Oh. That's what we glad to deal with, man. You know, you're a comedian. Your kids is under you thinking they sending you stuff that's funny. You know, I got one of my kids.
I pay my kids for videos. Like,
oh yeah,
you know, I do the Uncle Rodney videos, the split screen stuff. If they send me a good one, I give them $5.
Oh, nice.
Oh, so they working and they scouring the internet trying to find you material.
Yep.
And that's a funny bit you do, man, that Uncle Rodney joint. Because sometimes you ain't gotta say nothing. You just be looking at the camera, you be looking at the screen like look at this. Like, just...
You wild, man.
It's always been a good thing,
Rodney,
man.
a wild boy.
Always. But I mean, you know, Tone, you said you gave up the cigars. That's one thing I have not done. I think that's one thing that still keeps me calm on a day where I just feel like I'm stressed, and I could always light one up and I feel all right. So
I told you, every runner in the lane, coach got a stopwatch. I just stopped mine at 52. And I told my son, you 21, don't be waiting till 52 to click your stopwatch. Right. Look at what your daddy trying to do and see how it's helping the situation. But I'm not a party pooper. See, that's the thing about me. You do what you do and enjoy yourself. Life is short. I always use the analogy about the Kush, the Jack Honey. I say it was like a female. And we done everything together. We did all kind of stuff together. And I ain't gonna badmouth you because you still look good. And it's a lot of brothers that still want to kick it with you. So I ain't gonna badmouth you. It's just that where I'm going, you can't go. That's it. But we still cool though. We still cool, Jay Bliss. If you hit me and be like, yo, I need Rudy. I mean, like, let me call my nephew. He got him over there.
Right. Got you. I got you. So,
plus, I'm looking sexy in these sweaters.
That's another thing, man. I mean, I'm trying to get my shape back too. That's the other thing I'm doing in this COVID-19 because I darn sure ain't going to the gym.
I got 90 days before my birthday.
Huh?
You said 90?
I got 90 days before my birthday, so I plan on going into 50. At least decent.
He said decent.
Doing decent.
That's so damn broad. At least decent.
I'm a long way from fine, but I might be close to decent.
So you're gonna be hitting the big 50 in 90 days.
September 15th.
That's a blessing, man.
It is.
Come on in that 50-50 club, Rodney. Come on in there, baby.
Hey, I know you're gonna be at the door like,
I got a cigar for you too. I told you I ain't no party poop. I got something for you.
No doubt. No doubt. All right, man. Y'all, this has been dope, man. I appreciate y'all chopping it up with me. And what I'll do is this will broadcast out on YouTube tomorrow. But
nice.
Yo, I'm gonna tap y'all again when I get the opportunity, man. But like I said, this is just like a green room conversation. We just chopped it up, talking about things that we would normally talk about in the green room at a comedy club, and the conversation goes anywhere. You know what I mean? But yo, I've been talking about some real stuff, man, and I'm pretty sure somebody heard something tonight that's gonna be like, I ain't never think of that way. You know what I mean? But it's dope, man.
Hey, Rodney, would you do a show if you pull up to the comedy club and they had a Confederate flag waving outside the parking lot?
Ooh.
That's a good question.
Ooh.
I don't know if I noticed it. Probably, I guess.
I'll give you one better than that, Tone.
I probably would. I don't know if I would even be adept enough to pay attention to it,
Nice.
And so, I'm sure I deal with people in my audiences that don't agree with me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Politically, that's why you kind of steer clear of politics and religion, a lot of times.
Yeah.
And when politics are part of your, this is my problem with politics in America. They make you pick a side. And the reality is most of us live somewhere in the gray area.
Yeah.
Black people are way more conservative than liberal, really. But Democrats tend to affect policies that affect blacks more often than Republicans. So, like, did you see that thing on the internet? The Coon song.
Oh God!
So I know one of the girls that was in the video recording it dancing. Right, her name Angela Stanton. Now Angela Stanton is an interesting chick, right? And her whole thing is she's pro-life, right? And so, but because she's pro-life, she supports Trump. I'm like Angela, you have to concede that this dude be doing some crazy shit,
right?
And she won't do it because she's the political person, and that to me is insanity.
Right.
Like, I get it. You want to be a conservative because you are pro-life. Great. But this dude is very incendiary to people that look like you. And how can you act like you don't see that?
Right.
And it's things on both sides like that. Like Joe Biden said some shit. I was like, Joe, what you doing, dog? Tell you something, all white men is all white men. Republicans and Democrats do stuff that's messed up for blacks, flat out.
Yeah. I mean, that's facts right there. But the thing about it is, and you posed the question, Tone, about the Confederate flag. I've been in Alabama. I've done shows in Alabama. Pulled up in the parking lot, Confederate flag painted on the back of the truck, on the little tailgate part of the truck. The flag. I got a picture on my social media. Me standing there in the parking lot, and the dude had it painted. But here's the thing: they come in the laugh, and as comedians, we don't really touch on politics and stuff like that a lot of times. Like we'll touch on the black and white thing, or we'll talk about our life, or talk about things about us. But I think comedy kind of brings that closer together than any other thing. Like you can't come in with a Confederate flag and then go to a Joe Biden rally and expect to hear something you want to hear. But you can go to a comedy club and hear a joke about me and my kids that he can relate to. You see what I'm saying? So that's where it's different. But I've also done shows like that and had somebody come out and tell me I ain't never laughed at nobody black before.
Well, damn, they told you that because you light skinned. That's why they told you that.
But that's the thing. And it's funny that they feel that comfortable with you to be able to come up to tell you something like that because you was on stage for 45 minutes. You see what I'm saying? So it's comedy is real weird that it's like music. It can bring people together that normally wouldn't even come together.
Right.
That is a little bit of white privilege though, where he thought he could say that.
Oh man, dude. So I figured this out too.
Don't activate my old black man spidey sense.
Nah, here's the thing. There's a contingent, and I'm not gonna say all white people because I'm not gonna do that. But there's a contingent.
Don't say that.
Nah, there's a contingent.
Can you say majority?
I don't know. So I do a joke on stage that I discuss the N-word, and after the show, when I'm on stage, I always tell people, don't come out on stage and try to have this conversation with me outside, because I don't like any white people saying that word. But there's a contingent of people that feel like it's okay to come up and say that word and in front of you as if they having a conversation that don't got nothing to do with what we talking about. I'm telling you a story about the past, and they feel like they can slip that word in. And they want to see your reaction because they want to be able to tell their friends, hey, I said it in front of a black person. They ain't say nothing to me about it. And I go, I ain't the one. I'm telling you now, don't say that in front of me. I don't care what context you use it in. Don't say it in front of me, because it's going to get uncomfortable, and I'm going to make it extra uncomfortable because you said it after I just told you not to. So like sometimes, yeah, go ahead.
I watched a great video about this very subject earlier today, and this dude, really smart guy, and a white woman asked a question. She's like, I know Black Lives Matter, blah, blah, blah. And she really covered it. He's like, dude, he's like, every race has something that's outside of the realm of things that's popular to say. He said, my wife, when she's talking to her friends, they call each other bitch. He say, neither do I want to call her a bitch or do I see a need to call her a bitch, because that's their way of communicating. He said, only white people want to use this word outside its normal social means. Right. And it's the definition of privilege, And I thought that was really an artful way, the way he handled that. And I was like, I'm gonna steal that.
I saw that same video before I got on this call. And he was basically explaining like a gay person using the word faggot and with each other, and then why they're offended when we say it. I'm like, why would you want to say it? Why do you feel like it's necessary for you to say it? It's not your lane. Your relationship with that person is what dictates whether you can say that word or not. And that's like the whole premise behind one of the jokes that I tell about it. Like, stop trying to say it.
Right.
Why do you want to?
Oh, how about this for black people though? My brother puts up a thing he calls troll talk, where it's all these millennials talking about different issues, and one of the girls like, don't call me nigga. And I was like, that's fair. But how about think about this, sis? I was like, nigger didn't start in America. I mean, the origin of the word niggas was used to identify kings and queens. So don't confine yourself to American history when you're talking about certain words. Like learn the whole word, learn the whole origin, and now you don't have to be a nigger, but you can be astute or smart enough to know that this word don't start in slavery. This word has a history that's way older than that. Right. And so I think that'll give you some context. You know, again, you might still say don't call me a nigga. I get it. I don't use the word in mixed company. You know, like if I'm on stage, if it's one white person in the audience, I'm not going to use the word.
Right. I've been in that situation too. I just kind of stay away from it a lot of times because of the uncomfortability of it. And it is a lot of black people don't like that word, even if the room is all black. You know what I mean? And you can get a bigger argument with them than you can.
They ain't gonna say nothing though. They ain't gonna say nothing. If it as long as it ain't mixed company, they might pull you to the side, but they ain't gonna start no shit over.
Right. I feel you.
I just leave it alone.
Yeah.
I don't even say white people. I say Caucasian. So right there, they should know he's different. Goddamn, it was the suit first. Now he says Caucasian. Let me put my goddamn food down. And
this man got a suit on.
Caucasian is really more true because what's white? White is nothing. White is fictitious.
Right.
Them Dick Gregory say white ain't a color, it's an attitude.
Wow.
That's deep. That's deep.
And Caucasian is telling you where your ethnicity truly lies in the Caucasoid. That's what you are, Caucasus Mountains, up there in Middle and Eastern Europe. Come on, that's your complexion, that's your hair texture, but it ain't up for me to do your little history lesson. Go ahead and send your little 5895 trace your goddamn history back with your DNA so you know where you come from, them cold-ass mountains with them cavemen.
Hey, what they gonna find out is because half of them ain't even from the mountains. Don't even get to that. They was in the sand with us. Who just got under the white banner? The Polish, the Jews, the Arabs. The Russians. The who else? Czech people trying to fall under the. So everybody caucus over the last 70, 80 years. That's why they can call us minorities. But if everybody black, if everybody that was wore this uniform said they was black tomorrow, we're not a minority on this planet at all.
If you just take brown, if you just take brown alone, brown, anything other than Caucasian, we would not be a minority.
At all.
No, I mean, it's only two categories. It's Asiatic and European.
Right.
If you got any trace of melanin, come on over to the Asiatic side and then turn and look what's left. Ain't no way in hell we the minority.
Right. But I mean, they're gonna divide it anyway. Because I'll tell you right now, if
you gotta give them credit because it's cold. It's cold.
But if you took it to the place where you said, okay, all black people were no longer associated with the United States of America, we all leave the United States of America, they will find a new group to discriminate against. So whether it be Asian, Indian, fat people, whatever it is, they're gonna find another group to discriminate against. Because if it ain't us, it's gonna be somebody else.
It's economic.
It
ain't gonna be no fat slaves though.
I'm sure in the history books, it's a fat one somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's a bit.
I don't know.
It ain't gonna be a bunch of them.
I ain't never seen no pictures of no fat slaves. I believe on that one. That's too much cardio, Jay Bliss.
We got the big. Where we going? Well, look, we got some big people from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like they came from somewhere. Them jokers came from somewhere. I'll tell you that right now. But we go end this, man. Past the time, man. But yo, I appreciate y'all coming on, man. I'm gonna bring y'all back.
What a way to end. Fat slaves.
Yeah. Hey, bring it back, man. We brought facts, we brought humor, we brought all type of stuff, man. So I'm gonna bring y'all back on, man. Tone X, Rodney Perry. Before we go, shout out y'all social media, man, so people can find y'all straight up.
At Tone X Comedy. At Tone X Comedy, Instagram and Twitter. And the website is ToneXEdutainment, edutainment.com. Go check it out.
There you go.
I love it, love it, love it. Don't follow me. I got enough.
I don't.
He said I got enough. Yo, you funny. Yo, man.
I'm looking to make my social media exclusive. You can't even get in.
All right, go ahead.
Y'all can hit the page, but I'm gonna look at your shit to see if you can be a part of what I'm doing.
Hey man, listen.
I'm at Rodney Perry on everything. Rodney Perry Live. Most.
Change that thing up and say, yo, you gotta pay to get in. Then they're gonna be begging to find out what you talking about.
I ain't talking about shit.
We got a fans only page. I ain't gonna tell you what he wear on it.
You don't want to hear about that. I got one word for you: balls.
Oh, get on, man. On that note, man, we out, man.
Camera right now. Get me out of here.
That's it.
We've been
Hey, man.
infiltrated.
Yo, peace out, y'all.